Good evening. Tonight, I would like to go over my 6.3 assignment, the final project presentation, capstone presentation for EDL 723 with Dr. Tony Pauls for Indiana Wesleyan University. This capstone project that I performed during this semester was dealing with family and community outreach. So, a summary of my projects and my findings for the final capstone project. Again, what I was looking at is to do some community and parent outreach for the incoming students and incoming parents at our school. And with the ever changing population, there is real and pending need for family community outreach to happen in today's educational settings. Through the implementation of my project, I wanted to try to develop a healthy partnership and a healthy relationship with the incoming kindergarten parents at our school. So, to get the project started, what I wanted to do was I wanted to come up with a series of parent workshops that I would offer about every 2 weeks to the parents at our school. I developed 3 1-hour workshops. During that time, I met with the principal. I met with the assistant principal at our school. We agreed upon three dates and three rain dates that I would implement the after school workshops. So, my first workshop was designed around the implementation of parents and students using Lexia, iReady, and Google Classroom. Bringing technology into a 5-year-old's world is pretty intense. So I thought it would be beneficial to have the parents come in and with their student open up their Chromebooks. Each student in the school has a Chromebook, and I would lead them via the smartboard, show them how to access the Google Classroom where everything is uploaded for them as far as all the literacy, all the math, all the science and social studies, as well as a bunch of study aids as well, such as your sight words, your heart words, any videos that would go over CVC words, anything of that nature, and all of the math centers are uploaded in there as well. So the Google Classroom, I really thought was where I wanted to start, just because it's a great tool for parents to work with their students to always have a grasp of what we're doing in the classroom. I also touched on in that workshop a couple minutes I spent on Lexia. Lexia is a research based reading intervention, which is a phenomenal resource for the children. Philadelphia School District pays for each student to have a license in Lexia each year, as well as iReady Reading and iReady Math, both of which are online interventions as well. So we spent about an hour going over Google Classroom, how to navigate your way through it, Lexia, and iReady. To meet with the parents, I also developed a couple outreach resources. I met with the bilingual meeting counseling assistant at our school, and she was able to reach out to the parents in my classroom who do not speak English. She sent them an email and also reached out via phone. Also, we have Google Translate through our class dojos. I also sent a paper flyer home, attached the flyer via dojo as well. And in my report, in my project for Dr. Paul's, I have them all attached as the appendix. The second workshop that I developed again was about an hour long. It was 2 weeks after the first one. And in Philadelphia, they've adopted a brand new math curriculum. It's illustrative math. It's from the makers of Imagine Math, and it is a completely new and completely different way of teaching math. So I thought it was really important for the parents and the guardians who came in. And for this workshop, like the first one I had between, I'd say 10 and 12 parents show up, we did a mock lesson of one of the illustrative math lessons we had done maybe a day or two before. We actively engaged the students and the parents, and we went through the new way that we are doing math throughout the entire Philadelphia school district. And then finally, the third workshop that I developed and implemented was a a literacy lesson where we actually meet at the carpet. We do a turn and talk, we do a prediction, we do a reading, and then we do a report out. From report out, we go back to our desks and we do a piece of constructive writing as well. So I also wanted to make sure that the parents understood that not only is there a lot of tech going on in the classroom, but there's good old fashioned math, although it's a brand new curriculum, and there's good old fashioned reading. And I wanted them to see that, when they come into the school, it's not just a playtime anymore. We are designated 120 minutes of reading and 90 minutes of math. And I wanted to give them a microcosm of the kind of lesson and the kind of structure that the children are working with. Unfortunately, for the third workshop, though, I only had four parents. It had rained that day and it was cold, but it was not raining during the time of the workshop. I think just scheduling kind of got in the way with other things going on around the school, not really school related, but there was a significant drop off in my third meeting as compared to my first two. Again, in the second and the third meetings, I also met with the bilingual counseling assistant for the school. She did reach out via emails and phone calls. Again, I posted on Dojo. Again, I sent home a flyer in the homework, and created a Google slide template, which I shared via the appendix of this report as well. So I was prepared. I did share all the information. I ran it by the principal and the vice principal of the school prior. But again, I did feel that there was kind of a letdown by the time we got to the third. But by the time we did get to the third meeting. All right, so a summary. My findings from the running of the 3 1-hour workshops for the parents that I collected. Uh, I gave them a parent survey, and I did attach that in my appendix as well. Um, I was encouraged at the feedback, and I put a couple of the quotes from some of the parents in my report here that you're welcome to take a look at here. They did seem pretty positive. My one feedback that I thought I could do better with was they wish there was a little more time. So maybe if we do this next year, we will go from 60 minutes. Maybe we'll make it 75 minutes, and I will allot those last 15 minutes. I'll do a hard break at 60 minutes, and then I will allot the last 15 minutes for a Q&A session. I did do Q&A, but after workshops 1 and 2, there weren't many questions. After workshop 3, there were, like I said, there were only 4 parents, so it was a few minutes at best on that one. So overall, I don't know if I would say it's a rousing success, the project. I think I can tweak it a few different ways. I certainly would try to do this earlier in the school year next year. So if I do it again in 2024, I would try to do it in September or October when the Chromebook is brand new to the parents and the students, and the class dojo and Lexia and iReady reading, iReady math, when everything's kind of fresh. And there's a lot of mystery to it. I think it would be better if we did these workshops earlier in the school year. I think I would have a better attendance rate. All right. So where I did the work, there is a picture of our school. This is Anne Frank Elementary School right here. What you're looking at in that picture is the addition, which connects the old building constructed in 1961 and the newer building constructed in the late 90s. And this addition was put on within the past few years, connecting the two buildings. And again, we're in the city of Philadelphia. We're on the outskirts in Northeast Philadelphia. Just to give you an idea, those of you who have been in this cohort with me before, and Dr. Pauls has also heard this, but uh, this is a rather large school located in the Bustleton section of the city of Philadelphia. It is the largest K through 5 public school in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania right now. Population varies, but let's say it's approximately 1,500 students, over 100 staff. It's K through 5. It's located in a section of the city. There's been a pretty big demographic shift over the past couple of years, and that's why that ELL population was really part of my target audience for these sessions, because the ELL population has increased dramatically over the past couple of years, and I really felt that it was time to reach out and try to extend an olive branch to those subcultures. Um, so that is the school that I did it in. Each classroom, K through 2, has 30 students. 3 through 5 has 33. And in the classroom that I conducted this workshop, there are 30 students. So, describing in detail what I learned from the various courses in my educational leadership program, I'm going to start with our book from Maxwell. I guess this goes back to the master's program. Great organizations possess leaders throughout the organization who produce great ideas. That is how they become great. So, what that tells me is I have to take the information from the previous 9 courses and I have to put them into practice. And it may not succeed, but as long as I'm continuing to try to get better, I think that will make me a better leader. From EDL 709 with Dr. Lagoni, I hope to bring some of the educational theory and put it into practice as I complete this capstone project. As a leader, I need to continually change and adapt to the ever changing climate of the school. A good quote is listed here from one of our workshops that we did in 709 with Dr. Lagoni. In EDL 711 was cultural responsiveness in educational settings. Again, that was with Dr. Lagoni. I plan to become more culturally aware and responsive in an educational setting. Again, I think the crux of the capstone project here that I tried to do was to reach out to some of those parents who were apprehensive to come into a classroom. And I do think that the use of the bilingual counseling assistant helped me out in that regard. Again, I think if I do this project earlier in the year, I would have a little bit more success. From EDL 715, Change Theory and Educational Leadership with Dr. Pauls. I look forward to being an agent of change in the field of education. From our tonal text that we used in 715, um, since change is so prevalent in schools, educators often don't analyze what helps make meaning or sets the context for the work inherent in the change process. I feel that leading the push to extend an invitation to those parents and guardians, I am trying to become an agent of change. And from EDL 719, conflict resolution and educational leadership that we completed with Dr. Denise Nixon. I certainly hope to lessen the idea of any conflict, especially when keeping an eye on how to show respect for the various cultures which are coming into our school during this demographic shift. And finally, how this project fits into my long term goal. Um, I felt that the capstone project gave me some flexibility. It allowed me to try an idea that popped into my head during last semester. It is also something I tried a few years ago on a larger scale, and again, it didn't work as well either. So I think the idea and I think the theory is there. The implementation is still a little bit rough, but I think that the idea of me drawing up this program does fit in perfectly with my long term goals, because I want to continue to work on my leadership skills and my leadership qualities, my communication skills in the field of education, because I want to eventually branch off and begin teaching, possibly as an adjunct professor position at one of the many colleges or universities that are in and around Philadelphia. And I also want to use a new resource that's become available to me. I've recently become an active member of the Indiana Wesleyan University Alumni Association Board. And since I'm an active member there, I think I'm going to use my networking skills to try to branch out and to get one of those positions in teaching on the collegiate level. So I think this project allowed me to branch out a little bit and to feel my way through there. Attached is the reference. I pulled a couple of the quotes from some of the books that appeared in our last 9 classes: the Grogan text, Maxwell, Sheen, and of course the Tomel. And the appendix is as follows. In the appendix, I put the parent workshop flyers, the parent workshop notification for Dojo, the math parent workshop, math parent workshop for Dojo, and the literacy as well. And for Appendix G, you will be able to see the parent workshop survey. Again, I thank you for your time. Enjoy.